Hi everyone, welcome back to the Elden Ring 100% walkthrough. We are beginning our episode here starting from Aguil Lake North, but before I move I wanted to talk about some stuff. I did do the ball farm at Linnea's Rise off camera to get to... I didn't do it very much, I just got a few levels, but I'll show with status. I got to level 40. And mostly I just spent it on raising Mind. I got Mind up to 15, and all the other stuff I think you saw, was from the dragon that we killed in the previous episode. So you may be looking at this and thinking, hey, this doesn't really look much like you're playing a Death Mage or Int Faith yet. That's kind of because we're doing this lore walkthrough, which I've talked about how I don't want us to miss lore interactions, and skipping ahead to Liurnia would cause some quests to complete, so you would miss out on them. Specifically, Roderika's questline and Irina's questlines would complete, and you would miss out on those interactions. So I can't get the weapon that the first sort of Int Faith weapon that you can grab is in Liurnia. And in addition, the one I'm eventually going to use that's sort of death-themed is in Caelid, and I'm not powerful enough to get it yet. So because of that, I'm basically, if you look at my stats, aside from the kind of slightly higher strength and dexterity, which are from starting as Vagabond to prep for eventually using the Death Poker later, I'm basically a mage, right? I'm not worrying about raising my faith yet. Eventually we're going to unlock the ability to respec, and then I will probably do things like lower my vigor and endurance a bit in order to pump the faith up at that point. But for now, especially once we go to and get the staff that we're going to use, it's going to be like I started as an astrologer, basically. I'm going to turn into a mage and just kind of be a pure mage for a while, for a few episodes. So if you're interested, I mean, you're going to kind of get a chance to see all kind of play here because I'm able to use the Bloodhound's Fang, so that's kind of quality, but then I'm also going to be able to use the staff. So I'll try to mix it up here so you're able to see a bunch of different play styles. So I'm going to rest here and make it like noonish because we don't want to fight the boss on the bridge. Remember, we still haven't gone and gotten the staff that we need. So, and we also haven't. We are gonna, at least this time. We're gonna now unlock our starter spells at least, so that we'll catch up to what an astrologer would have started with. And this is really a minor difference. If you just want to start with an astrologer, you could. I mean, one of the reasons I like starting with Vagabond too is you get stronger armor to start, and that part's kind of nice. So when you go across this bridge, you're going to see a caravan. And there's a weapon to get out of the back of that caravan. But my recommendation for the caravan is, if you can pull them up into these ruins, you can fight everybody up here where you can summon. You can kind of see there's a summon sign up here. And the way the caravan works is they're usually pulled by these giants, but if you hit them in the leg, the entire caravan will stop. And then you can go... But the issue, of course, is that you're gonna make some people mad at you. And after that, they'll all start running. And now we get over here and we bring out our wolves. So we're gonna show... Here, let's see if we can show this. I wanted to show Bloodhound's Fang. So that's L2, R2, right, is the combo there. Oh, still have my foul foot. Just tried to get mana back, dude. Alright, so now let's just... Okay, calm down. You see how powerful that weapon is. It just wrecked him to do one special there. Don't want to get poisoned. can see it even cleaves. This weapon's just, you know, nuts. I remember I have no skill on this, so I could just... We killed this scary guy, which was the guy on the horse. Now you'll notice that the caravan's like, oh hey, I've been attacked in a while, so they get the giants will start moving again eventually. She can just come back here and get him. Ugh, stupid tap target. You can actually crit them, and you'll see a glow that shows you where to hit. If you're too slow, though, you won't be able to get him. But now they can't pull because he killed one. If you're better at this game than I am, you can often get up here and get this without, like, really fast before you get hit, and then you don't have to deal with fighting a zillion enemies. But yeah, with that caravan taken care of, we're going to go up into the Waypoint Ruins here. You can see that there is a stake here. Or sorry, that's a summoning pool, not a stake. I think there might be a stake here too, but you want to move away from that. There's a giant plant that's actually... Oh, calm down. Angry plant. If you go around here, show them to you. Oh my god, this didn't lock on. Oh, I didn't have stamina to do the follow-up move. I'm also poisoned, which isn't great. One of the things that annoys me about these ruins is there's always a way down somewhere, but you have to like remember exactly where it was, which can be tricky. I think in this case it's like here. So there's a boss to fight in here. I think we're probably, because we're poisoned and I used my one, I need to probably reallocate things. I think we are going to actually sadly have to teleport out, I think. So I'm going to do that real quick, sorry. Wasting time, but like I'd rather do that than die to the boss. If you look down in the bottom right, I have a lot of runes that I farmed because I wanted to be ready to buy all the spells from this person that we're going to unlock here. We're actually going to unlock our teacher. Teaches us our Glintstone sorceries. We're also gonna go. We're gonna go shopping after I unlock the teacher and buy the sorceries that I want. I'm gonna do a little merchant tour here to end the episode. Do a little shopping. That's our main goal of this episode. Main point is to acquire some stuff. Alright, now we're back here. Hopefully not poisoned this time. I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna show exactly where I am. Oh, I'm in combat. I can't show you. Sorry. We can actually bring out our wolves here. So you can actually choose to stay away if you want. I really need to get more than one FP flask rolling. Okay, now we can really show off Blowdown's thing. It can be tricky to use it with summons just because you'll roll into, you'll go back and go forward and end up in an attack because you were. It can be hard to tell where an enemy is aiming when they're hitting your summons. All right, so when we rest here, you can see there's a door to open. And look, we found our teacher.
Tarnished, are we? No wonder you should turn up here. I am Sellen.
Get this
a
ridiculous
sorcerer,
hat.
Plainly. Why are you here?
I want to learn sorcery.
A yen for Glintstone sorceries. Well, your aptitude does appear passable, but one must choose one's masters wisely. I was exiled from the Academy of Rea Lucaria as a reviled, apostate witch. Do you still wish to learn from me?
Yep.
Well, you are a piece of work. Very well. You are now my protege in Glintstone sorcery, but I refuse to coddle or cast kind words. Never anticipate grievances, young apprentice.
We can give her the scroll that we got in an earlier episode.
Is that a scroll?
Near Agil Lake South.
Takes me back to my academy days. Very well. This is sorcery with which I'm not entirely unfamiliar. I'll be sure to incorporate it into one of your lessons. Never lose that inquisitive spirit, my apprentice.
Alright, so Glintstone Pebble, Glintstone Arc, that's what the astrologer would have started with. But in addition, we can pick up Glintstone Stars, Crystal Barrage, Scholar's Armament, Scholar's Shield, Glintblade Phalanx. And this is going to be your highest damaging spell for a long time here. The Carian Slicer. It's an unbelievable spell. We can now ask her about Glintstone Sorcery after purchasing some.
Our art draws upon the powers embedded in Glintstone. But what is the nature of such power? Glintstone is the amber of the cosmos. Golden amber contains the remnants of ancient life and houses its vitality, while Glintstone contains residual life, and thus the vitality of the stars. It should not be forgotten that Glintstone sorcery is the study of the stars and the life therein, a fact lost on most sorcerers these days. Your appetite for learning is impressive. You make me proud. To have grown little legs so readily. You must have a fabulous teacher.
Alright. See all these new spells we got. Pebble is a really, really great range spell for a single target. Arc is what you use to fire multiple enemies. So it's releases a sort of glintstone blue shiny arc that will hit, basically cleave. Glintstone stars you can fire off and then the stars will track the enemy. Crystal Barrage is a volley. Scholar's Armor will actually buff your weapon, so you can buff it to do magic damage. Shield will actually increase the damage negation of an equipped shield that you already have. Phalanx is really neat. It makes these blades form behind you, and then after a while they'll shoot and hit enemies. So they're there kind of defensively, and then when you start a combat with someone, they'll fire off and shoot and hit someone. And then Slicer is like wielding a sword. In fact, we should be able to go to Memorize Spell, and I'm gonna put in Pebble. I'm gonna put in Phalanx needs 22 int. That's annoying. I would put in Phalanx, but and then I guess I'll put in Glintstone. Actually, I'll do Glintstone Arc and Carian Slicer, and then reserve the 4th slot maybe for heal if we have faith. Oh, and I think it's time to let's change our allocation up here. So this allocate flash charges allows us to pick how many go to each thing. So I'm going to give myself 2 FP potions instead of 1 at the expense of 1 heal. So now I have 5 heals and 2 FP potions for being able to cast more. Okay, so we now need to go shopping. The first thing I want to show is how do you quickly get back to Round Table Hold. If you bring up the map, you can hit triangle, square, X. So if you kind of memorize that, triangle, square, X, you'll jump back to Round Table Holds.
Ah, you appear to be doing well. Very good. Well then, would you like to learn an incantation?
So the basic heal requires 12 faith, huh? Okay. I think we do want to get to 12. Do want to get to 12 faith. So let's see. But we also have some purchases to do. So I'll probably worry about leveling up. We'll let this episode be about the shopping. If you look, this guy's now in his study.
What do you need? I have little
He thinks we're worthless.
spare. Oh, are you aggrieved at the notion you are but a visitant here? Then you would do well to remember the first words of grace given to you. Stand before the Elden Ring and become the Elden Lord. If those words held any meaning to you, follow the guidance of grace. Lay low the shard bearers and claim for yourself a great rune. Do so, and the doors to the Round Table's inner chamber will open, and you will receive the wisdom of the Two Fingers. Once the wisdom of the Two Fingers becomes your own, I'll impart to you a proper welcome. As a true member of the Round Table, I have high hopes for you. I'm sick and tired of them. These namby-pamby tarnished think us no more than a shelter from the rain.
I mean, he kind of thinks we're one of the namby-pamby tarnished, right? Alright, so in terms of what to purchase down here, if you want some better armor and want to farm, you could get the Knight's armor. I feel like the Vanguard's Knight armor is close enough to this that I'm not feeling like I absolutely have to purchase it. I do recommend getting a longbow. And then in addition, we do have the stone sword keys here to buy. As for how many to get, like, you could kind of purchase them as you're able to afford them. So, like, I could buy 2 here, and I'll still have 1 to purchase later, but just to make sure I have some for when we run across stuff in the world. You can see there's a lot of the basic starter weapons here that you can actually purchase. For example, you could get a basic seal. And we already got the memory slot earlier. So we can now start kind of, if we wanted to, like, going and, you know, looking at some of these merchants' gear that we, you know, didn't buy earlier. I think you can talk to this guy about Blythe, too.
Wait, weren't you... Well, you're back. Care to buy something? Ah, then you met Blythe, did you? Wonderful. I'm glad I pointed you in his direction. He's boorish, blunt, and couldn't find his nose with both hands. But he's a good egg. I think the two of you are sure to find the best in one another.
So, it's up to you to decide how much you want to engage with the crafting. If you did, you're going to want to buy the cracked pots, because you're going to make pots that are filled with things, and the number of pots you have determines the maximum number you can hold in your inventory and use before recharging at a site of grace. So they're not consumables. I mean, in the sense that they're not consumed, they're more like a permanent, oh, every pot I buy is a +1 potential that I could have equipped. And then the cookbooks unlock new recipes. So, you know, we could clean him out and then we're done with him. But like it costs overall quite a few runes, obviously, to, you know, get every last interesting thing that every merchant may have. So it's really up to you how much you want to, you know, how much you want to engage with the crafting system.
Goodbye.
Because it does cost a lot of runes overall, but it enables, you know, it's cool stuff that you can make. I mean, you start off being able to make very fluffy things, but I mean, things like fire pots you can hurl, right? And you eventually get things like freezing pots that can knock one of the hardest bosses in the game out of their toughest move. So, sleep pots can put things to sleep as you get Trina's lilies. You can make those. So there's good stuff here if you want to engage with it. And we probably will. I probably will sit here, you know, and be a completionist and make sure I get as much as possible. I will try to buy all this stuff. If you're trying to like remember, oh hey, I didn't kill the merchants. Where are they all? I'll give you a quick refresher. We had the one that was over by Mistwood. I think that was probably the second merchant we saw. And you could just kind of go and, you know, buy what you can. I'm not sure I actually have enough to actually buy a whole lot here. But the things that are really useful are like extra stone sword keys. Once you own a bow, it'll give you that little tutorial message, since I bought one.
How nice, Lise.
So this guy had a couple of cookbooks. I don't even think I can afford to buy both of them, though. Yeah. We can actually sell things if you want. Oh, we do actually have... Totally forgot that we had a fair bit of stuff that we can sell. We'll just sell everything here. You can either like use the golden runes in your inventory, or you can just sell them like that.
How nice, Lise.
And then if you want them to try to upgrade basic weapons, you could buy more smithing stones. I'm gonna hold off and see if I get enough in the world. We do actually want basic arrows, so I think it's totally fine to buy. We don't need a lot, but we want enough that we can get out the bow and fire some shots if we need to. So that was one merchant. There was another merchant down by the Castlemorn Rampart, if you remember. It's kind of going to the ones that we had talked to.
Trade again.
So this one has another cracked pot, a stone sword key, and he actually has an amber medallion talisman if you want it, that raises max HP. So just kind of covering these things. This is a smithing stone 2, which means it might be worth getting, since it's a little higher. And then any of these things that you might want, just turn some random armor. One of the things to watch out for, it is nighttime here. There is give you a peek. We're not going to fight it yet. That's the boss. It's called a Knight's Cavalry. So that's an actual full-blown boss. So then the other merchant was by Saints Bridge, which was when we were walking over here and went to Summerwater Village. So we could go look at that merchant really quick as well. I think that might be every merchant that we talked to so far. This is why some people just kill them, right? Because then you could just kind of look at it all in one place, as opposed to having to travel and find them all. But they are marked on the map, so... Another cracked pot, another cookbook. And then you could kind of decide if you want some of these other things. You could get the turtleneck. You won't ever need to buy any of these hints. If you were doing a blind playthrough, I of course would strongly encourage you to buy the hints.
I'm afraid of.
I'm trying to remember if there was any other merchant that we had. Oh, there's of course the ashes that guy sells. If there are any more that you want, we do eventually want to buy them so that we just have them all. We talked to Kale. Yeah, I think that's every merchant that we'd seen so far. So we could finish this out by going over to Bernal here and seeing what we can buy. Okay, so it's nighttime here, which is... You want to kind of peek around the corner? He is there, so we're okay. Remember, this shack can get invaded.
Ah, hello. Here to learn about...
Although I think you have to rest once at night before he'll actually invade. So I'm going to pick up Endurer so that I have it. I also like Impaling Thrust. Get Parry, Quick Step. It can be good having these things. I guess I'm just going to buy all of them. Alright. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, all across the board.
Well.
So yeah, if you're willing to kind of do the ball farm and farm some runes, you can just kind of... Ooh, here I'll show you. See how he's gone now? If I had walked over there, I would have been killed by the thing. Since I undoubtedly wouldn't have been able to beat him yet. Oh. I thought I passed time until noon. I clearly didn't, because the enemy is still there. Maybe I accidentally hit nightfall. I'll have to go back and look at the video, I must have. Yeah, so you can see now he's back, so you're safe. That's how you know when the merchant disappears. You know you're in trouble. Alright, sorry, this ran a little long, but I didn't, in previous walkthroughs I've done of this game, I kind of skipped the step where I purchased things, and then people were like, wait, what did you buy? Why do you have different gear? Or what, you know, I wish you hadn't skipped that, so I figured I would just go ahead and devote an episode where you actually see me walking around buying things and the thought process behind it. So I do think I think we did actually manage to get every cookbook from any merchant that we have discovered. We got all the ashes, so all that's really left is... In Faith can be expensive, right? Because you kind of feel like you want to own all the incantations and own all the sorceries. So we do still want to buy stuff from this guy and this guy, even though we probably won't use them. But how much you want to purchase when it's your first playthrough and you don't plan to use any of it is up to you. You know, you can basically farm extra in order to go ahead and buy them now, or you can just wait till later. Alright, in the next episode we will resume our exploration of Limgrave. So, until next time.